Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's well. Welcome to CFT's first YouTube show, where we're going to obviously digest the protest on the 6th of April. I am Dan. I'm one of the members of CFT, and I'm joined by a bit more experience in the room when it comes to these podcast YouTube. It's my first time doing this, so obviously bear with me. I've got Christina. Christina, can you say hello?
Hi, great to be on here. Today's going to be pretty much all about the protest, just sending out the message across for that. But I'm Christina, I'm one of the members of CFT, so it would be really good if people could also, whoever's watching, to put in your questions on the comments. That'd be great, and then we'll get back, I think, throughout the show. So looking forward to it.
Thanks for coming on, Chris. And Billy as well. Hi, Bill, how you doing?
Yeah, good, man. Real good. It's been nice without Spurs, isn't it? Like for a little bit. It's good to get back into that mindset about it now because it feels like ages, and we've still got another 8 days to go before a game. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's relaxing. It's been relaxing. It's been relaxing 2 days.
Yeah, it does feel strange, but obviously next game we're away at Chelsea, so not sure. Looking forward to that one. Yeah, but obviously this is our first live, so really appreciate everyone joining and watching in. And like I say, just to reiterate what Christina had to say, if you do have any questions, please do fire them in, or any suggestions for the SIPs, because obviously it does take a lot of time to put these protests together. One of the reasons why we're here today is to obviously put it out there what we're planning to do, and just trying to obviously get as many people along as we can as possible, and to explain why it's important. So obviously to dive it straight into it, basically, Billy or Christian, you can answer this. Why are we protesting? Obviously, I know that's a question that we can probably easily answer, and everyone will say the same thing. But obviously, we are changed for Tottenham, and people will ask, well, why are we actually protesting?
I mean, it says it in the title, doesn't it? We want change, basically, for Tottenham, because at the moment, well, not at the moment, it's been going on since how long now? Like, how many years? I don't even know. It just feels like a century. I haven't seen success at our club, where it just seems to be a repetitive cycle as well, where we bring in a new manager, and then after 18 months, it just all crumbles down, and then we restart all over again the process, and then we go back to square one again. So that's why we are now fed up, especially with how times have changed in football. Everything's more expensive. We've got an amazing stadium, amazing training facility that we were promised that changes were going to be made, and it's still exactly the same. And that's why, it seems to be the root of all the problems seems to be from the top. So that's why we want to have change.
Yeah, and obviously, Billy, to pass it on to you as well, because obviously everyone have a different thought process. I mean, we all kind of think the same things, but anything to add to that as well as to why?
Yeah, man, just to rebuild on it rather than, I completely agree with everything that Chris just said. I don't know if you guys watched the Legends game at the weekend. Did you guys watch that?
Briefly, yeah. I saw some of the goals, yeah.
And that kind of made me think about it, that like watching some of those guys like Aaron Lennon, Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Keane, these people that I grew up with, like I kind of lost that kind of connection that I had back then. I don't know how you feel. Like, I know that part of that is when you get a bit older, you don't have the same sort of the same kind of interest in football that you do when you're a kid. But still, like, just watching those guys made me realize we've lost a lot of that soul. I think that's what it feels like for me, anyway. And I think I look at our team now and our teams of the last 4 or 5 years, and like, which of these players are going to be playing in those Legends games in the next few years? Because those players, I've got such a deep connection with Aaron Lennon, such a deep connection with Jermaine Defoe, and Michael Dawson, Ledley King, these people, and that's what's like eroding in front of our eyes, I think. And I think the Legends game really felt that way. Did it feel like that, guys, for you guys when you were watching it? Because it just made me a little bit sad, to be honest, in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, good point. I mean, when I watched the goals and watched it back, and obviously Berbatov, Lennon, Defoe, King, just to name a few, it did bring back some great memories. Like when we talk about those players, I automatically think of kind of cup final when we beat Chelsea. Obviously,
yeah,
that's true. That's kind of why we're here, right? We're lacking in that. We're lacking in that department. I think every fan knows that. And I think the big point behind the protest, as we are saying, is this has. We're looking at our recruitment side. We're looking at the money being generated, and just feel that obviously lack of transparency as well, all the way through. Right? We kind of don't get, even though it's come out today that they're reviewing the automatic cup scheme. I saw that. But no fan was even kind of asked that question, but they said it was something that they thought would be the right thing to do without consulting the fans. So,
and a big one for me in the last couple of weeks is they just randomly in like a season ticket renewal email, they just put about the singing section. Like they haven't advertised this thing at all. Like the people like Return of the Shelf, who was like obviously heavily involved in pushing for that, has like publicly stopped working with the club. Haven't consulted. Yeah. We've heard they haven't consulted the fan or the trust on this. They've just randomly started talking about a singing section without consulting the fans. Like just everything seems like just there's no care of the fans involved in anything that they do. Is there?
There's no connection.
There's no connection there at all. They're just kind of free falling, trying to do things, half-and-ass things. Don't get me wrong. We would all call for a singing section. Everyone would love that, but the way that they're doing it, they're not doing it authentically, and they're just going to sort of, what I fear will happen is it will not be effective, and then they'll say, well, we tried, and that's it, and then that'll be never heard of again.
I mean, the one thing I think is quite interesting, and I know that a lot of the fans have spoken about, Ange and so forth. But it's another one, right? It's another manager that looks like he's going to be heading one way. And again, the common denominator, shall we say, stays, looks to find another manager to try and guide us through, to be honest, which is going to be the same process. We're not going to see anything different, I don't believe, under the sunship, which is why we're here, right? For change. We want a change of owners. We want a change of the way the clubs run, and we want to see the footballing side put first, and just a bit of ambition. I think that's the word, isn't it? Ambition, which I think that I believe, and I think we fully believe that these owners lack. I mean, I don't know what you think about that, Chrissy. Obviously, bringing you into that, I know we've spoken about this a little bit now, but just to add ambition. I
mean,
ambition.
Any manager that comes in, I really hope that it works out. Of course, I just want to see success at my club at the end of the day. And I was really hoping that there was going to be something. It started off really exciting when Ange came in. I didn't know much about him and his history, but I really got invested, and I did my research. I was even, reading books about Ange. I was like, wow, this is something refreshing, something really exciting here. But it's just not worked out. Sadly, yet again, and I feel like even player-wise, with the players that he has wanted to, bring in, I don't think he's necessarily got them. We've had an injury crisis, so a lot has not helped on his side in that. But at the end of the day, I just don't think, and I don't believe now. He's had almost 2 years. I just don't think the way that he plays is suited for the Premier League, and it's such a shame to see that. And whatever does happen to him, I truly wish him the best. But again, we're at that same cycle again, where we've fallen, again. And then whoever comes back in, it's going to happen in 18 months' time. So yeah,
I think that's it. That's it. Again, obviously, not to sway too much of the purpose of this, because we could talk about Ange forever, really. I mean, I think just obviously briefly, me and Bill, I think we spoke about we really liked, and I think every fan wanted it to work. I think, as Chrissy said, as soon as he came in, there seemed to be a boost for the football change and so on, and you could really kind of get behind something, and then all of a sudden, again, feel like he got left short, which he did, and this is where we end up. And again, it's enough is enough. Don't see it changing, and that's why we're here to drive that.
And I think, Craig is right in the chat saying that, the difference is this manager should have been sacked. And it's not been good enough by any stretch of the imagination. It's the worst season that I can remember in my lifetime in terms of the league form. And it's been really, really miserable as fans. And I think, a lot of the fans joining the protests will be because of this season has been so poor. But, this is not a new thing for us. Like, we've been disappointed time and time again. Yeah. You could probably look at the Pochettino era. I know that it's a big conversation at the moment. That's the last time I felt like properly I actually had a football club that I can be proud of, and that was really connected to. I know there were spells of Conte and Jose and stuff like that, and even Ange, but they didn't really materialize into anything meaningful. Pochettino had 5 years. We challenged for the Premier League in 3 of those. We were always going. We obviously got to Champions League final. And since then, it's just been a massive, massive decline. And I think this season is the kind of one that we've all been fearing for a while, right? Like, so many bad decisions always. I think Daniel Levy is an absolutely shocking football operator. Like, he's an incredible businessman, no doubt about it. But this will be the. I think this will be the if we get a new manager, it'll be the 8th manager in the new stadium. That's mad. That is unacceptable on any given level. Like 8 managers in 5 years. If you obviously you have to include a couple of caretakers in that, but still,
no. And how many trophies?
And 0 trophies. No elite football club should be using 8 managers in 5 years. That just tells you that the leadership is completely wrong. And he'll probably try. He's probably got a couple of cards that he can play, like the Pochettino card. He'll try and play to get fans back on side. Maybe he's tried to play the Mourinho card, the Conte card, the big manager card, the project card. But I think fans have just run out of patience with this now, man. It's been 17 years. Don't forget that 17 years. That was a Carling Cup. It was a League Cup. It's been 30. It's been over 30 years since we were in an FA Cup final. That's it's just the patience has run thin. So I think that's a big reason why we're all protesting and why there's so much appetite and support out there for this movement.
Yeah. And I think as well, there's other fans that will say like, "Oh, Spurs fans, why have they got nerve to like moan about it?" But we're meant to be one of the top clubs in the Premier League with like Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Arsenal, but we're nowhere near that. We're nowhere near that at the moment. And, with what we've got as well, like I said, like we were promised with, to have success with the stadium that we've built and, the training facility, like it's incredible when a new signing comes in, what they must think of what we have, but what is it that we've actually got behind the scenes? Realistically, it's just, it's all shiny outside, but inside it's just dead. It really is. And I think that's another thing we'll obviously mention is, the atmosphere. Because, it's really gone downhill and it's really showing how the fans are feeling. Obviously you guys go to the games and you will witness it yourselves. It's just not the same as it has been.
I think that's again goes on to the next point that we're obviously going to talk about now is obviously fan involvement. I think we said many a time, was there 11 of us? I think pretty much all of us are season ticket holders. We're just standard Tottenham fans, right? No different to anybody else. We've just tried to put kind of a movement together where we believe a lot of fans feel the same as us. I think we said the 20-60-20. We respect everyone's opinions. Everyone's thought process, everyone's will be different. We all understand that completely. We're not going to try and force someone's hand if they don't feel comfortable with it. But obviously, the next one for you guys really would be, the fan involvement. What's so important for the fans to be there on the 6th and why is it important for them to stand with us if they believe in kind of what we're saying?
So I think building on that, like, I want to give a shout out to Brian, who I know is watching. People like Brian have been pushing this movement for years now, absolute years.
Yeah, absolutely.
They put in the groundwork for the work that we do. We all want new owners, we all want to change, but this has been building for years and years and years. And I think, and because of those people that laid the foundations for the movement that we have now, because of everything that's going on at the moment and how bad it is, our previous protests got significant numbers. Really, that was the media attention it got. There's no way the club can ignore those kind of numbers. And I know people, have their comments about, it's a 55,000 seater stadium. We've got around 2,000-3,000, but let's make no mistake about it. That made big waves, that first protest, that protest that we did this season. But, all of that momentum and everything it sort of counts for nothing unless we keep building on it and we keep pushing relentlessly and we don't give up. So I think that protest has really got to be the just start of something. And we need numbers. Numbers is the only way that we can ever, promote change and get change. And I think continual pressure on the board, continual pressure on Daniel Levy, it's the only way we're ever really going to affect change. And, you can look at fan protests across the country. Liverpool have done it recently. West Ham, they've protested in numbers against season tickets. They managed to get a season ticket freeze. Liverpool had a big protest where they walked out. We've seen what happened with the Super League protests. We've seen what happened with Arsenal down the road, unfortunately, protesting against their owners. Protests can have a real effect. And you can debate all day whether you think Daniel Levy is going to react to protests, whether he even cares about this. But make no mistake about it. Tottenham fans protesting is bad for the company when it's in the media, when it's in, the media narrative is all around about how much the fans hate Daniel Levy and want him to change. That's not good for a business on any level. So the way that we can keep pushing this forward is just by numbers. And Chris, what kind of things can people do? Because we've had a lot about the visual side of CFT in the last. A lot of people have been talking about flags and scarves and stuff like that. What can people do to really push that message on April the 6th?
I mean, there's plenty of things that you can do. We're on lots of social media platforms. Twitter's obviously is our main one. I do the Instagram account, and all the pictures that we have showing the protest, you can repost it. You can post it on your story. It's just literally spreading the word. And also on the Instagram page, you can now find links on the bio where you can purchase the scarves. There's stickers as well. And so if any fans want to, feel free and post any pictures of you like holding up the scarves or whatever and tag us in there. We're happy to repost. And yeah, it's just making sure that you're spreading the awareness about our process that's coming up for the 6th of April. And, it just building the whole momentum up basically for the 6th. And even at the protest, share as much, pictures, videos, because that's what we want to show is just actually how many people. I mean, we're hoping for a huge amount again. The support has been absolutely incredible from everybody. So if we just go again and have it even larger, then that's what we want. And we want the media's attention from this. We don't want it to be ignored. We want it to be shown, just like it was on Sky Sports, on BBC News. It's exactly what we want to do again. It's just making sure that our voices are heard at the end of the day.
Again, really good points there. And obviously, I think I'll reiterate what Billy said as well, because I think it can get forgotten, is that there were guys like, I don't know Brian. I know he's watching, so hello, Brian.
But Brian's going to be there on April the 6th, by the way. He's coming from Canada.
Which again, I think it's important to mention that, these guys were doing it a long time before and trying to drive it. And obviously, and they, they're passionate about it, and so are we. So credit to them for looking to get that movement started as well. And I think we've all said as well, we're no different to anybody else, and I think that's the most important thing to put that across as well, because a united fan base is the most important. And I think that that's what we want to be. We want everyone to unite together with the same thought process. And if you don't agree with what we're doing, absolutely fine. We respect that, and we wouldn't expect you to be marching with us on the 6th. But if you do and you feel like, I don't know, because nervous is a word I'll put across, because maybe you don't feel like you can go on your own, or you're not sure who's going to be there or how it's going to work. I mean, we all met through Spurs, us guys, right? Yeah, we didn't know each other before then, so it's a club that brings people together. Your football club brings people together, and that's what we want to do on the 6th. And regardless of you being worried or you're not sure if you feel you could join, please do. Obviously, Christina's face, Billy's well known. I mean, I'm not as well known as you guys on the scene at Spurs, but obviously I'll be there. So come and say hello, come and stand with us, and be part of the growing number, and to drive that change. I think that's what I would like to reiterate and put across.
And just a couple of things on that as well. Firstly, we had about the protest that we held at the Man United game. There were kids there, weren't there? There were dogs even. It's a family-friendly event. Like, we're not looking to exclude anyone that wants to bring their family. We all got, let's be honest, we all got in through Tottenham through our family, and we're in danger of losing that sort of experience, that family experience with ticket prices and everything like that, and the way that they treat the senior prices and senior concessions. So, if you've got kids, don't be afraid to bring them. There'll be certainly no trouble or any danger or anything like that. Also, I know people like Brian and a couple of our own members, actually, they don't want to go into the ground. They're so done with this club, and they've given up the club, they've given everything to this club, and they're at that point of their end of their tether with Daniel Levy and Enoch, that they don't want to go into the ground, and that's absolutely fine. We totally respect that, and in fact, I think that's an excellent message to push, and respect anyone that does that. And some of our members will be watching it in a pub, so don't feel like you have to be going to the game to join in the protest. People will be watching it in the pubs. And a lot of people feel like supporting local businesses in that way is actually an effective way to protest as well. So don't be afraid to bring family. Bring as many people as you can. If you've got those people that are sitting on the fence, just bring them along, man. Just, it'll be, at the very least, it'll be a laugh, singing Tottenham songs, singing anti-Levy songs. And you'll really feel like you're part of something, I believe. And if you don't want to go to the game, that's fine. We had loads and loads of people reach out to us to say they didn't even go to the game, the Man United game, watch it in the pub. We need
we don't want it aggressive at all. Like that's not our vibe at all. We want it to be a peaceful process. Like Billy just said, like bring your kids, because literally everybody can be involved in this. It's just all Tottenham fans all coming together, basically. Also, I think we've got to mention about the proceeds that this is. They're going to. Go, Billy.
I was just literally about to talk about on that, and so one of the big things that kind of came organically, and it had actually nothing to do with us whatsoever, was these flags that came around the time of the banner. So the way they kind of worked organically is we made a banner for the Leicester game. The banner got serious coverage, like way more coverage than beyond our wildest dreams, really. It was picked up in national newspapers, it was picked up in TV all across the world, and that kind of visual message ended up becoming like the visual sort of the visual sign of CFT, the sort of yellow, the blue background and stuff. And off the back of that, someone that we don't know at all, made some scarves. And there's actually quite a lot of interest in those scarves. And a few different people have reached out to us to say they want to make them. Those scarves are not affiliated with us. We're very happy for people to sell them because we think it pushes the message, but they're not CFT. And we're very, very happy for people to buy them and show their support that way. But then we decided this one, we thought the scarves and the banner were making such good effects. They're getting pictures in the press and all that kind of thing. What can we do to sort of enhance that? And what we've decided to do is create our own flags. Flags are a really easy way that fans can make a visual protest in the stadium. The more flags, obviously, the better. And let's be real, like the media game now is just all about social media, isn't it? Like all the coverage is on social media. You have your videos, your pictures on there. A few flags in that stadium will make a big, big difference. And CFT has never, ever, and never will be about generating money. So I don't know if, guys, you want to talk about just how like the money of that. We tried to make the flags really low cost, didn't we? And we're not making any profits on these flags whatsoever. No, it's really important to us.
Yeah, I think that it can. Yeah, people obviously can put 2 and 2 together and get 5. I think that's a really important thing to look at. Everything we do self-funded. And again, I think that was one thing that we also, when we started this, we spoke about, didn't we? We would not be looking to take any kind of donations or anything because it becomes messy. And the reason it becomes messy is then people start putting money, where's this going? Where's it going? So we just kept it how we thought we'd do the right way, basically. Obviously the flags proceeds go to a couple of charities, Tottenham Food Bank being one of them.
A children's charity as well. I think Noah's Hospice.
Yeah, that's it. Which is obviously something that we feel is important. And like I say, no proceeds go to us. It's just part of what we're looking to do to drive change.
And also, we made the price of the flag £6.50 as well, plus shipping. I mean, you can't buy anything for £6.50 these days, isn't it? So I think hopefully people will agree that's a reasonable price. It's literally as low as we could have possibly made it.
I don't know. I mean, Groups is the main one behind that.
Yeah.
So
you can purchase them on Instagram on our bio as well.
And they ship worldwide as well. We've had a couple of orders in Australia, a couple of orders in America. They will be shipped. And I just want to big up Terry because he's messaged us a couple of times, and this guy, this is awesome. He's bought 15 of them to give out to people on the day, and stuff like that just makes me like that's
unreal.
That's just as important as anything we do behind the scenes, like fans getting involved like that. Like that's
absolutely
this movement that we put together is nothing really. It's everyone. It's a movement for everyone. So people that are doing things like that, you're just as important as anything that we're doing behind the scenes. So he's bought 15 on the day that he's going to hand out to people that can't afford to buy one. So yeah, big up Terry, man. That's a huge deal for us.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, I've just seen that comment there, which is amazing. Like you say, things like that really do support what we're doing. But again, without you guys, CFT doesn't exist. It's a fan group that needs everyone to be involved. As many
we've taken our time with these flags, and it's taken a while, but they've arrived. They've officially arrived yesterday. They're being shipped this week, so they will be there in time for the protest. So yeah, I can't wait to see them in action, man. I'm definitely be getting one.
Yeah, excellent. Obviously, talking of flags and banners, because obviously when first got that banner for the Leicester game, I don't think any of us, again, we all chipped in to get that banner and thought that it would be a way to start maybe getting the movement noticed, but beyond our wildest dreams, that we had it kind of everywhere, didn't we? All over the world, which was amazing.
It's still loads of people got. I don't know if you guys noticed. Loads of people got like their Twitter cover pictures.
Yeah, which is fantastic, and that's what it's all about. And again, that's a great message for us because it's about unity, isn't it? And we feel like we're uniting everyone with that message, and people have got the same beliefs as us as well. And I think that when we speak about Daniel Levy and ENIC, I always like to put this out there to say it isn't personal. I don't know Daniel, I don't know anyone from ENIC, so forth, but it's not personal. But we want change for the reasons us fans want change, and that is because we don't feel our football club is being run correctly on the footballing side. Now, when we speak about Daniel Levy and do protests bother him, is he concerned, or does he just ignore it? I think that goes on to our next question about the banner that was outside the stadium that wasn't allowed access. Now, I don't know who wants to obviously talk us through that and explain why it wasn't allowed access, because I was pretty shocked, to be honest, because there's nothing untoward said on that banner and nothing that was untrue. But we were told we were not allowed to bring that banner in. I don't know if anyone wants to explain a bit more to the guys listening.
Yeah, so obviously we have to we're trying to do everything the right way, basically, and we try and second guess every sort of club are going to throw at us. And big up to Jay, because he's behind the scenes working on this all the time. Yeah. Any banners that we take in, we get approved by the club, and actually, to be fair to the club, they have approved all of them except for one. And they said about the fire safety of the banners at the beginning. We've got them all fire safety checked. We've jumped through all those hoops. They're probably trying, maybe some delay tactics, something like that. But we've managed to get fire certificates for all of them. We get them all approved by the club beforehand. But the one that they didn't approve was the one that said, "There is no passion here. This is purely financial," by Daniel Levy, which is a true quote that he said. I think the club's issue with that was maybe the timing of when it said. Is that right, guys? They weren't very happy with when it was said about.
He said it apparently when he was at Rangers. That's what he said. He said it.
And I think, obviously he didn't. He might not have said it when he was at Tottenham, but I think his actions. What has really changed since then?
Yeah.
How can you show that there is passion behind the ownership of Tottenham? Because I can't see it.
Yeah.
Almost every decision that they make is a financial decision rather than, if you've got passion for the football club, you have to show empathy for the fans. We don't get that. We get treated like absolute rubbish at Tottenham. Let's be honest. We're charged through the nose to go and see our football club. We're given the bare minimum. For example, I look at people that got season tickets. My mates got season tickets for other clubs. They all get a couple of cup games thrown in and stuff like that. We get the very bare minimum. We get the 19 games, stuff like that. There's talk about things like, Fulham did that day where they had like £15 tickets and a free drink with every ticket. So we don't get stuff like that. Like we're given the very bare minimum. Like the Frankfurt game. I know the trust issued the fact that they thought, and the FAB issued the fact they think the tickets are too expensive. I don't see any decisions from the club that have the fans' sort of well-being at heart. Is that what you guys feel as well?
Billy, we don't even get a birthday card anymore.
I know. We stopped the bloody. Do we even get the fucking scarves that we used to get in like the pin? All that stuff.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I used to really look forward to getting my birthday card because it was always the first one that I would get, and it was Tottenham. And it was like, oh, the club loved me. But no, we don't even get that. And I can't even imagine how the kids must feel, because that must have been like, so exciting for them to get something like that.
Do you remember when you used to have to open? This is getting into old man territory, but you remember when you used to get that box and it had like the new membership card in? And I used to love opening that, man. Yeah, all that's gone.
And it had all the pins inside it, the card, the leather card holder and everything like that. There's just literally nothing. And I think just adding on to what you just said there, Billy, like there's just no communication as well from the club to the fans. There's none of that anymore. So you never know really what is going on behind the scenes. Like we're just basically placed to the side now, and
I'm just seeing in the comments now, just because obviously, like, you know, we spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks in particular talking about ticket prices and all that kind of stuff. That stuff that, you know, goes hand in hand with being any kind of movement to do with a football club. But I think everyone's biggest, I don't know if I speak for everyone, but I think I do when I say that everyone's biggest concern is how bad the football side is at the moment. Like that's how. Like, guys, what are your like current thoughts on the actual footballing side of this club? Because it's just, I can't believe how bad it's got, man. Is that like, this is just like someone just there saying, you know, talking about how much we've regressed as a football side. But what are your thoughts on the actual football side of the club now? If we forget all like the ticket prices, all of that noise that we've been pushing the last couple of weeks, if you look at the actual football side of things, this is as bad as it's been in ages, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, I think most fans will all have the same opinion, but some will have different ones. For me, I didn't expect it to be as bad as it has been this season. I mean, if you look at Ange's reign last season, well, I think we were all pretty pleasantly surprised. We started to fall off towards the back end, right? And it started to become a bit like, but actually, I thought maybe a summer we'll then kick on again. We're back in Europe. Let's have a go. We're gonna be up there. I think the summer we all knew we were left short. But for me, the club really, this has been coming since Kane went, right. And I think we are seeing a season without Harry Kane now. The true season that he would have, if he was playing for us now, we'd probably be sitting sixth, I'd say, in and around it. Not too far away from Europe, from Champions League. Kind of the same seasons that we've been having. That, you know, we just need to kick on. We'll keep Harry and so forth. But since he went, I mean, this season's, you know, this and the investment that we had in the summer. I mean, we look at it now. I mean, hindsight's a great thing. But for me, it's a season that's been coming. I think we've ridden our luck, and we've been pretty poor to watch for quite some time. But Harry always used to come up with the goods. You know, I remember seeing this in games. I mean, I remember being at a Brighton game and we won 2-1. Harry got the winner. We were awful, and I think we had
so many games when you look back. He bailed us out of one now.
Bailed us out of, and we haven't got anyone that will do that now. You know, as soon as you know, no offense to Solanke, he's a workhorse, and he probably kind of suits the way we want to play at the moment. But he's just there's no comparison, is there? We had the world's best.
I think that's what makes it worse. Is the fact that I actually look at our team and I actually think they're not actually that bad. I think the way that we're playing makes them look bad, if that makes sense. I think that we have got some really good players in our squad, but the way that we're playing just makes them look worse. It's just, I find it really depressing watching us, and it's to the point I don't really want to go to the games anymore. And it's sad because I love going. I love coming to see you guys, you know, and I think that's what a lot of people like to do. It's their escapism. And we can't even escape watching that. It's just so bad. It's so poor. And we're paying a hell of a lot of money just to even get to, to even travel there, let alone to even purchase your ticket. And I just, it you know, and even for the young kids as well that are going to be like the future at Tottenham, I don't know how people want to be part of it right now. It's just really depressing. But yeah, just going to Tottenham games now, the atmosphere is so bad as well. Everyone's just fed up. And I think someone may have mentioned about, it's just there.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's the drum. I think, Bill, am I right in saying that you've organised a drummer to be there?
Yeah, man. So
excellent, you can answer that.
Yeah. So Everglow says, do you think we could have a drum machine? That'll be a bit technical. A drum during the march, more noise, more attention. A couple of people said that about the last protest, and just to confirm, we will have a drummer there to literally drum up some noise. So thank you for those people that suggested that. We've managed to sort that. There will definitely be a drummer. We'll get those chants going. For sure. And I
did see a question, a couple. I think Susie had a question about have we considered reaching out to other board members? I think it's just come up now. Thanks for that question, Susie. Chrissy, I'll let you answer if you want, just to explain that. Obviously, reaching out to other board members.
We have, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah. I'm allowed to. Yeah, we are allowed to say that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've not. I mean, what has been the response really? I mean, it's don't really know how to elaborate that.
Yeah, so we reached out to Donna Collin, or we sent a letter to Donna Collin. She did reply to us, but it's this typical kind of PR reply that you'd expect. Not much to the surface of it. We will certainly look to put pressure on all of the board members, and I think a lot of things about Tottenham does get centered around Daniel Levy, doesn't it? But guys, I know you're pretty clued up on this kind of thing, but it's not just Daniel Levy that we're protesting against, is it? There are a lot of people on that board that have been there for years and are just as culpable as him. We're protesting to get the owners out and the ownership. We want to get rid of the ownership, and as much as we want to get rid of Daniel Levy, and he's the biggest scapegoat in all this, of course, because he, at the end of the day, he is our chairman. There is a lot of incompetence at this club. Would you agree, guys?
Absolutely. Again, I think we did a space with Paul O'Keefe where he explained, obviously, about Donna Cullen and others on the board, and it hasn't changed for 20 odd years. And I think that, you kind of look at it and go, well, we're now protesting because of the ownership and how it's been run. But nothing's changed at that board level, which is kind of why we are where we are. So we did expect. Sorry, mate.
I think a big concern for fans is like there's no one holding these guys to account.
No.
Is there? Like, these guys are all sort of self-serving each other.
Like, basically yes people, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, you ask, that's a great idea. I know you do a great job. Oh no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to answer to these fans. So you don't need to.
And if you look at the business level of Daniel Levy, he's smashing it in terms of business. He's generating record profits. That guy that, and actually I forget the name of him, and Roops will be able to fill you in the coming weeks. But there's a finance guy on Rio Ferdinand's podcast. I can't remember his full name, but we will be speaking to him soon, and he will be on one of our shows. And he says that Tottenham are the most profitable club in the history of the Premier League. So in terms of all those KPIs and things, they're absolutely smashing it. But for fans, that means absolutely fuck all. It means nothing to us. We just want to see a successful football club. It's worrying that these guys are there.
Did we also we shared the response of what we got from the board? Did we?
Yeah, that's on our. If you go back through our if you go back through our on X and all those kind of things, it is on there. If you just search for like letter with our name, it'll be on there somewhere. But we public that. It's also in the Standard as well. Dan Kilpatrick from the Standard published it as well. So yeah, it's definitely around.
There was a question from Bill Greenwood who said earlier. It would be good to discuss the possibility of protesting at an event. So, I mean, he's probably talking about boxing, concerts, and so forth. We have discussed that, haven't we? But again,
we're open to all ideas like that, aren't we? Really, it's definitely something we'll explore in the future, I think.
Absolutely, Bill, and that's a great question. Obviously, just wanted to reply to that because obviously I know you put that in there. So, I want to try and reply to everybody that puts a query in there because we have asked. So, just to go back to that, Bill, we have looked into it. Obviously, we want to get this the sixth kind of drawing up as many people as possible to get to this one, but it is something we have discussed and we will be looking into in the future. So thanks for putting that forward because it's a great idea and something that we do appreciate as well.
Sorry, just to jump in, I'm just reading the comments. Let's go through. Kieran Maguire is the name of that finance guy. Thank you, Terry.
There you go.
He has agreed to come on one of our shows, so that'll be a really good one to watch out for.
Excellent. Terry's on the ball, isn't he? Get him on. Terry knows what
Terry,
he's
you have to
talking
come on one of our shows, man.
Yeah, we'll get you on, Terry. You're showing us all up. Yvonne's put on, have you had contact with the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust? Yes, we have. And they have obviously responded and got in touch with the club. Again, as we say, we unite behind them. So it's not just about us, it's about a united fan base. So
I know that, there's current discussions going on with the trust, isn't there, at the moment? So it's definitely something we're exploring. We're just trying to start talking about the thing. Because at the end of the day, you've got people like the trust, the FAB, us. We all want the same thing. Like, we all just want a successful football club. And I think, we're all got the same goal as just making Tottenham a successful football club. We're definitely in discussions with them at the moment that are ongoing.
And to move on to obviously the next point would be about what would we see as success with regards to obviously the protest and obviously for the fans as well. I mean, put in the comments, obviously any questions and anything that you think will be a success from the up and coming protest and what we want to see from it. To put it to you guys, what would you see as a success. I mean, for me, I know, again, I'll answer that just briefly on what I would see as a success would be to get more numbers than the last protest, and for the fans to start believing. I think we mentioned the 20, 60, 20. For part of that 60% to start believing in what we're saying and uniting behind us and everybody else to look to try and drive that. Chris, Billy?
Yeah, man, I completely agree. I think. Oh, you want to go first, Chris? Go for it.
You want to go, Chris? Go on, Chris. You go first.
Is it breaking up for you guys? Was it just me?
I think that's just
we'll go to Billy. He's breaking up.
Yeah, and we'll come back to you. Yeah, man, I completely agree. Like, I think we're really happy with the numbers in the first protest, and I think if we get those kind of numbers continually, like week after week after week, whenever we do protests, that's what we want. We want those kind of numbers. If we can somehow improve on the numbers, that'd be fantastic. The more numbers we get, the better. But I just think those protests keep the conversation going in the media. They keep the conversations going on the radio. They keep the pressure on Daniel Levy to do something. And make no mistake about it. As I said earlier, you can argue about the fact whether he cares about the protests, but significant numbers continually is going to put pressure on him, and it's going to put pressure on the club. So I think success would be if we can get more numbers, great. If we can just continue the visual messages inside the stadium with the banners, the flags, the scarves, great. We just want to keep the conversation around Daniel Levy and the club, and putting pressure on them to eventually leave Tottenham. That's what we all want, really.
I think a refresh, right, Bill? Like,
it's time now. It's been 26 years. That's most of my life. That's a quarter of a century of this. No other club in the Premier League has had a chairman that long. It's not typical of football anymore to have a chairman for that long. And it's a failed experiment. Like they've not going to be able to turn it into a successful football club. Financially, they've had great success, and there's a question about that a bit later on. But we don't have faith. You can't pull the wool over our eyes anymore. It's not going to happen with these owners. This is, I think Ange has been the last straw for lots and lots of people, because we're in that stadium now. We've had another project manager after two, of the win now managers. There's nowhere to turn anymore. There's no more. Everyone's lost faith, so we need new owners, and if we can keep putting on pressure, continual pressure to generate that, that's ultimately what we want for CFT.
Yeah, good response here. And again, just going to Soul Sniper Gaming, who put a question here, but would you guys be happy if Levy, there it is, currently remains to run the finance operations of the club, but removes himself from the football operations and the new football regime comes in? Again, it's a really good question. I think if you asked me that 3 years ago, I would have probably said, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. But I actually think now that just a refresh. I think away from the club, a different start, a different direction is where I believe we'll start to see our football club succeed. More along the side of the footballing side rather than the commercial side, which we know he's done really, really well, and the financial gains that he's created. But I do believe that a complete reset would be something that I personally think is something that we would need.
I literally would have said, I was about to say exactly the same thing. I think 4 years ago, that would sound great. General Levy, no one can doubt the finance side, but we've kind of been told over the last few years that this is supposed to be happening anyway, and it's completely not. I mean, you saw in the media that Levy's getting involved in the Chow transfer, he's getting involved in the Kinski transfer. This man has shown that he's incapable of stepping away from the football side of things. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen under Daniel Levy. And I think if you could have a businessman that is as good as Daniel Levy, just operate on the business, great. But I think he's shown this year, because when he hired Paratici and when he hired Langer, we were told that he'd be stepping away from and Scott Munn, but he's just involved as ever. That's really clear from the media and really clear from when he's very happy to take the plaudits when a negotiation like Kinski goes well, and then when one doesn't, like Tell, he looks embarrassed. But this man is not going to be able to step away from the football side of things, I don't think. So I don't think that's a reality that we can look forward to.
Yeah. Absolutely agree with that. And Soul Sniper Gaming, thanks for taking the question. It's a pleasure. Thanks for asking. It's much appreciated. So we will try and answer all the questions as we can. Again, there's another question just down there from Alex. United fans forced their club shop to close. That would really hit them where it hurts. And I think, again, I'm going to reiterate that the reason why we're not looking to do that is because you've got children, you've got people attending their first game. People like to go into the club. That, you know, that's not something that we can try and look to.
It's not a message that we want to.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, I can understand it to an extent, and people might think, well, we should do that because that will stop the club getting money. But I think that will dilute what we're trying to do. We're trying to be respectful when we're doing this and get the message across. And you know, I've got young kids, and I know that if they went to a game, you know, they would want to go into a club shop and not be stopped by a group of fans, which could be seen as aggressive, you know. So I think that would be my answer to that.
I wanted to make a point as well with the last protest.
No, thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. It's a fair question. Sorry, Chrissy, go for it.
Yeah, go. I was going to make a point from the last protest. Obviously, we saw that guy who came and stood, I think it was right near the club shop. He was holding out a sign saying "Leave it in." I just feel if there's anything like that again in the protest, I know it's easy for me to say, but I just would highly advise just to like walk away from something like that, because at the end of the day, we've got our opinion we're allowed to express, and so have other people. So I just feel like, because we want to avoid anything like aggressive, any violence at all, just please try and avoid anything like that. If someone does come up saying that, just think of it like, you know, they are allowed to have their say just as much as we are. So yeah, I wanted to make a point on that, because we actually did pretty well, and I think actually the security removed him because they knew that it could have caused a lot of tension. But yeah, just wanted to point that out, because
it's a great
we
point.
really want to avoid like any violence.
And it's a really good point, because again, I think we get asked a lot of questions about CFT trying to divide the fan base and so forth. No, not at all. If you've got an opinion that differs to ours, absolutely respect it and always will. And if you'll have a levy-in flag or a levy-in sign, you will certainly be left alone to have your opinion on that, and it's no problem. I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me, and that is absolutely fine. And everyone should be open and entitled to their own opinions and be left to have those.
Yeah, and just going in, and back on Alex's question, I think there's a lot of stuff we can take from the Man United fans. Like, they're the gold standard when it comes to fan protests by far. Like, if you look at the footage of their recent protests, their numbers are insane. And I think what they did, that, you know, this has taken years and years of building up for them to and obviously they've had horrific owners themselves in the Glazers, and their new owners don't look up to much either. But you know, what they did was they had continual numbers and continual pressure. And what they've managed to build of that is, you know, what we were all aiming for, really. So I definitely think, you know, if we're looking at the Man United protest as a sort of gold standard, that can only be achieved by the fan base coming together against our owners and against, you know, asking for change. So I think there's a lot of messages you can take from the Man United protest for sure, but I think the biggest one is you just need continual protests with big numbers, and then you can get change.
Yeah, excellent point, mate. I think, again, I saw another question about the flags and scarves, about holding them up at a certain time. I don't think we've agreed anything to do that, have we, at a certain time?
I think it will come in. It will be coming in our protest messaging. Yeah. So especially in the week before the game, because obviously, like, I think it's such a big period at the moment before Tottenham play again, isn't it? That we haven't fully done all the media for the protest yet, but it will definitely be coming. And also something which we've looked to explore, which came from one of our Twitter spaces actually. We're going to try and sort out a meet-up before the game as well, inside the ground, where people could meet up and, you know, generate some atmosphere, just have a drink together, talk about, you know, the movement, talking about change for Tottenham, talking about wanting Daniel Levy out. You know, for people that want to attend, it'll be inside the stadium. We'll try and generate some, you know, anti-Levy songs in there. So yeah, there will be a plan for specific times during the match. I don't think we've agreed on the exact minutes yet, but keep watching our media, keep watching our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, because it will be there. Yeah.
And I think that, again, reiterating, I like that word today, going back to what we mentioned with regards to fans that might feel on the fence about coming if they're on their own. I think Heidi mentioned about she won't be attending the game, but she'll be going to a pub. I think we mentioned it, didn't we? And if anyone isn't attending, they can look to come and say hi and have a drink in there and watch the game.
Yeah, and I just had a message actually, and I have looked at our original poster for the protest. There is actually confirmed minutes, 24th minute and 61st minute. And guys, you want to talk about why we've gone for the numbers 24 and 61? So obviously 24 is is the Levy, is the how long the owners have been here.
Yeah.
And 61 is the last time we won the league, man. And we probably got some fans listening that were there for that.
Yeah.
But Jesus, man, I certainly wasn't. Even 1961, the last time that we won the league. Jesus Christ, that's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Just to jump in, because Sussex Tottenham's put £16 is a decent price for a scarf. It is never a waste of money if it goes to a children's charity, etc. I bought mine. Just to reiterate, the scars are not ours. Roops, who's one of our members, great guy, works really hard behind the scenes. He has organised the flags, and that is what will be going to the charities. We don't know much about. I mean, the scarves, great if you want to buy one, but we're not behind those.
And the flags are £6.50, and all the proceeds will go to children's charities and food bank.
Yeah, absolutely. Another question is from Soul Sniper Gaming. Is the club big enough to separate the football and the non-business operations, or are they too closely intertwined? Chrissy, do you want to answer that one?
I mean, is the club big enough to separate the football and the non-business? I mean, I just feel like the football's just now been lost. And I actually fear that with the Premier League itself, for the future of actual football, where I feel clubs are going to start copying what we're doing now. They're going to build up a stadium, use it to basically as a theatre now. That's my biggest.
Well, even the new Man United plans has basically said that they basically want to do exactly what we're doing. They want to generate all their funds from the stadium.
I mean, and this is the thing. I've actually had a few other fans from different clubs discussing about this, and even they fear the same. So that's what I just feel like. Even what we're doing, I think it's also a message to the Premier League itself. Like, this is football to me has just been, it's history for especially for my family. Like, I'm sure it's the same with you guys. I was a Spurs fan from my dad, who was brought up in North London, Enfield, and football to us has always been, we all get together and we watch the game, whether it be by the TV or even if we go to the game together, and it means a hell of a lot to my family. And it kind of makes me feel really sad that if it slowly just starts to die, where it's just commercialized and all about marketing, it's just going to lose that authentic, that just what football should be all about. And I think that's my fear with what's going to happen. So yeah, I just feel like with everything that's coming in from the stadium now, not that I hate the stadium, I really don't. I think it's absolutely incredible. Every time I go there, it does blow my mind that this is actually our stadium. But it's just the fact that we are not putting in the money to the football club itself, because that is the main reason as to why it is there. Otherwise, it wouldn't existed, right? So it just. Yeah, it's. I don't know if it ever can be separated. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know what other clubs are going to start doing as well. It's just all big business, and it is really sad. And even with it being televised as well, how much money they must be getting in for that. Are they going to start doing halftime shows and all of this? I mean, I know this is a completely different conversation, but I feel like it is a little bit part of it, just with all the commercials and everything and halftime shows they're going to do. It's just going to become sort of American football, which I do respect, but that's American football. This is, this has always been Premier League how it is. But I don't know how you guys feel about it.
And I think when we had the space with Mickey a few weeks back, he was saying that the increase that the clubs got from the TV revenue a couple of years ago was so big that if Tottenham charged fans for a season £0 for every single game, they would still be in profit because of the increase in the TV fund money. Like, let's make no mistake about it. Like the ticket prices and things like that are a drop in the ocean compared to what they get from TV and other revenue. But they're never going to drop the prices, are they? They're going to keep it high because it's greed. It's greed. It's, and we see it at every level in the Premier League. Fortunately, it's not just Tottenham owners that are greedy. It's happening to fans across the country, but there is just so much greed, and it's pushing the fans away.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that question again, Soul Sniper. It's much appreciated. Another one that's coming is any news on banners at away games? That is from, he's just disappeared off my screen there. Not sure who that question's from, actually. But
Spurs boy 626.
Yeah, there we go. It's just can't now. So I think Jay was the one that was speaking about, and Billy, they were the ones talking about this the most, weren't they? Getting the banners into away games. That is something that will be happening. I'm not sure what games have been earmarked for that, but I think probably try and do it at most, I suspect.
Yeah, and actually we actually find that it's in some ways it's easier to get away the banners in away games because a lot more of the fans that go to away games tend to be the ones that have similar opinions to us and want the owners out, which is why you kind of see the Levy out chants at away games more than you do at the home games, because those are the die-hard fans of Tottenham, the ones that go week in, week out. Most of them want the new owners now. I think that's fair to say. So yeah, it's definitely something we'll be exploring. I think it's really important to say that when we're not protesting, these protests take months to organise properly. It doesn't mean our messaging stops. We still want the banners, the flags, the scarves, all games, every game of the season, to really show our message. Even though we're not having a specific protest, does not mean we take the banners to every home game now. And we hope that people take the scarves and the flags to every home game or every single game from now on. Because this is a message that we'll just be pushing forever until we get the change that we want.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything to that, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like ever since the protest, actually, like from every game, you always may hear like the chant every now and then. I don't feel like it's been ignored at all, which is great. But exactly, that's what it is. Like if you just keep whatever games you're going to, just keep spreading that message across. That's exactly what we need to be doing. And especially now with the build up to the protest, now is the most important time. So that's why we want to, be doing these podcasts now. We want to get as many people to contact us if you have any ideas, because, we're all willing to like share each other's thoughts of what you guys feel may help. Because we're coming up to, it's almost, is it two weeks away, the game?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
2 weeks away.
A week and a half away. Yeah.
Week and a half. So yeah, like I said, like I'm on Instagram. So if anyone wants to sign to the DMs, you're more than welcome to send us your ideas and thoughts. And again, like pictures and everything like that, just spreading across with the scarves, the banners. It's all good. It's all part of the protest.
For sure, and that was going to be our last question, but I have to ask one more to guards specifically, and I'm not gonna bait you out and no names, but someone has asked about ex-players. I know this is something which you have some intel on. Obviously, we're not going to name any names at this stage, but what do you think about getting ex-players involved, guards? Because I know you in particular have been exploring this.
Yeah, I think again it's a really difficult one, and I'll liken it to someone that came out recently. Darren Ambrose, when he spoke up about Levy and co, he lost a job through that. He had work and he lost some work by making his points and speaking. I wouldn't say negatively, just the truth. So I think that it's a difficult one.
We've reached out to some though, for sure, haven't we?
Yeah, reached out to some. Yeah. It's not as easy as we think it should be. Like you say, yes, it's still their profession, and they still work in the industry. So it's kind of like be seen as burning bridges, something that we wouldn't do in our own lives. If in what we do, you wouldn't want to kind of burn those bridges if that was to happen. So it's a touchy one. It's a very difficult one. But yeah, I'd like it to Darren Ambrose. He was very scathing about Levy and co, and he openly admitted that he lost a job where he wasn't meant to be working on something for Tottenham due to his thoughts. So yeah, not something I believe many players would want to kind of get behind. Whether that changes, I don't know. I suppose
we'll keep trying. We always put the feelers out, don't we?
Absolutely, we do. We always ask the questions, but we respect their decisions. But also, if we keep growing and the movement keeps getting bigger, it may change. But obviously that's down to the fans as well and everyone involved in CFT. And
we do know.
I mean,
a lot of these players are sharing the same opinion of us at the moment. We've heard that for facts.
I mean, even I don't know if this will help, but even on like X, if like fans could even like mention them with us, like whenever there's been like posts on tweets. I don't know if that will help. I don't just to even get them to see us at least our profile. I don't know, but yeah. I don't know if it could help.
It's a difficult one. I think it's one that again I would put on the back burner and focus on what we can do to drive change. And I think first and foremost, I think it falls at our feet and the fans that go to the games. I think we're the ones that can start to drum up the attention it needs and to get us to where we need to be. Yeah. I think we're organically grow it. It's really important that as many of us are there on the 6 as possible.
And someone's just messaged about the legends with Ozzy, Roberts, and Ledley King. These guys are still paid by the club, aren't they? Unfortunately, they're never going to come out against.
Yeah, and it's understandable. Yeah,
absolutely. That's and I think that's Terry's mentioned Ramon Vega again. I think someone's reached out to him.
We've had a couple of DM conversations. I think.
Yeah. So I think that was something that happened, but. I mean, it's a difficult one. Good question.
But I think you're right there. You're exactly right there, Dan. Like, it's the fans. That's all we need to make this message. Yeah, we just need each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that again, talking about the 6 for us as a group of fans and for everybody that goes to games, anyone all over the world as part of the club, all pull together, unite, and drive this protest on the 6 is. So important because, we fully believe that once that change at the top is made, that we will become the club we should be at this moment in time, and what our stadium is telling us we should be, but we're not seeing it on the pitch, and we haven't seen it for 24 years under this ownership. We really, really need you guys behind us, and I think once we have that, we can then see the change. Yeah,
mate, our first YouTube live. Thank you very much, Bob and Chaz behind the scenes. Chaz done a lot of work behind the scenes, and he's
thanks, Chaz.
More importantly, thank you everyone for tuning in because it won't be.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out everybody, but if I miss someone, then the WhatsApp group might be a bit fiery. Yeah. So, Chaz, special mention.
Heidi put together a lot of the stuff behind the scenes for this as well. Big up everyone involved in CF team that are working on this. But
groups.
What do you reckon, guys? Definitely first of many.
I think if everybody wants that, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, sometimes, you don't want to kind of do something if it's you want it to be important messages. I believe you don't want to be repetitive. So I believe that we will do it more.
We're not coming for Ricky's job. We're not going to be doing them every day.
No, certainly not. No, certainly not. But I think what would be good moving forward is if we have something to say or something that's important that we feel it needs to be said, then doing it live, absolutely. And also, I think it'd be good to get fans on that believe in what we're doing, maybe don't believe in what we're doing, to have a debate and so forth.
Terry needs to come on, man.
Exactly, absolutely. And I think that this is something that we can work towards and do, and just see how it grows. I mean, like I say, it's one foot in front of the other at the moment, and the 6 is huge. And for me and for us, we want it to be bigger than the first one, just to show that this movement is growing and that people have got faith in what we're doing.
Awesome.
Excellent. Brilliant. Thanks for joining in, everyone. It's much appreciated, and all the questions as well. Christina and Billy as well. Brilliant as always.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you. Yeah, well done.
And we'll see you all soon. Come on, you Spurs.